What is up, guys and girls? And this video is going to be some kind of a practical example on how we can use Go routines in Golang, right? We did some basic channels, we did some Go routines, we did some sync wait groups and all that stuff, but example on how we can utilize Go routines and how to sync them together. So basically bringing all these chapters together, all these series together of the concurrency, right? So without any further ado, let's get started. So basically, I'm going to have something like a type user profile. User profile is going to be a structure, right? And we're going to say here that we're going to have, for example, an ID. It's going to be an integer. We're going to have some comments. And I will explain why we do this. There's going to be a slice of string. What's going on here? String. Then we're going to say some likes, maybe. It's going to be an integer. And also friends, right? Some friends here. And that's going to be a slice of integers, right? A slice of user IDs, right? So most of the time, when you're making an application, for example, a JSON API or something else, some end user, the browser, is going to hit an endpoint. For example, fetch a user profile, and what you're going to do most of the time, if you have services or microservices or something else, you're going to fetch the user profile from different places, right? Of course, most of the time with these basic APIs, you're going to have just one simple DB call, but in professional setups, a user profile is most likely being fetched from different endpoints, right? And that's what we're going to do, and I will show you why we need Go routines in here, right? So what we're gonna do is, let's make this function here, func handle get user profile. We're gonna kind of mock things up, right? We're gonna say ID is gonna be an integer, and we're gonna return a pointer to this user profile and an error, just like this. In this case, right now, I'm gonna return an user profile and null for the compiler. What's going on here? Yes, something like that. And then we are going to say func get comments based on the user ID. We're going to return here a slice of comment, string actually, error. We're going to say return null here, for example. We're also going to say fetch get user get likes. Based on the ID, it's going to return an integer. And as last but not least, we are going to return the friends. And that's going to be a slice of a string, right? Int, my bad. Let's do this, right? So what we're also going to do is we're going to mimic some kind of an HTTP round trip, right? Because when you're going to fetch something, not everything will resolve directly, right? Some services will take 100 milliseconds, some responses will take 50 milliseconds, maybe some will take 200 milliseconds, who knows, right? So let's mimic that in. So in get comments, we're going to say time sleep, time millisecond, we're going to say times 200, right? We're going to sleep for 200 milliseconds. It's a little bit of high, but just for the sake of, so we can actually visualize these delays, right? In this case, we're going to return a slice of strings here. Actually, to be honest, let's make it a little bit cleaner. We're going to say comments. Comments is going to be a slice of string. Hey, that was great. And then we're going to say here, yeah, buddy. And also, oh, I didn't know that. Just like that, and then we're going to return these, it's fine. Get likes, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to basically sleep for, let's say, 200 milliseconds also, and we're going to return, I don't know, maybe 33 likes for this guy. And for friends, we're going to return, we're going to sleep, let's sleep 100 milliseconds here. Get friends, we're going to return a slice of IDs, we're going to say 11, and 455, right? Something like that. Let's bring this main function up to the top. And then we're going to say here, user profile error is going to be get user profile. Let's say 10 if r is non-null. We're going to log fatal out this error. And on the other side, we're going to basically print out the user profile, right? Okay, so how would we do this on first glance? Well, we would do something like comments. R is going to be get comments, right? This ID, if R is not null, we're going to return null and the error, right? Something like that. What's going on? This is string. It should be ints. My bad. Integers, right? Something like that. Of course, yeah, here comments. So we're going to basically, let's put in the comments here. Comments, right? The next thing we're going to do is fetch the likes, for example. Same principle. We're going to say likes. It's going to be get likes. And we're going to say that the likes here is going to be the likes. And as last but not least, also the friends. Let's copy things over, paste it in. We're going to say friends here. Come on. Friends. Boom. Get friends, right? Boom. All right. So basically what we do is we're going to fetch all these things after each other, right? We're going to get the comments and the likes and then the friends, populate, aggregate our user profile, and then we're going to return it, right? So if we run this, then we're going to see that we have our complete user response, right? We have our comments, we have our likes, and we have our friends, right? One more thing, maybe you could do ID here, ID just for the sake of, right? So let's measure this real quick. We're going to say start is going to be time now. And then we're going to say here fmt println fetching the user profile took time since start. All right, let's do it again. Go run main.go. Boom. We're going to see that it took us 500 milliseconds, right, to fetch the complete user profile. Why? Because we sleep 200 plus 200 plus 100 is 500 milliseconds. Correct. So how can we make this better? That's why Go really shines, right? We have a way to basically fetch all these parts of our user profile asynchronous, right? So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to use Go routines. So what we're going to do here is when we make our get user profile, we first of all going to make a response, right? So I'm going to say type a response. Let's call it like that. It's going to be a structure. And inside of this response, we're going to have the data. Let's make it small. Data is going, actually, to be honest, it can be fine. Data is going to be an any, and then we're going to have an error, an R, which is going to be a type of error, right? That's going to be a response. Then we're going to make a channel, a response channel. So we're going to say that the response channel is going to be make me a channel of a response, right? That's what we're going to do. And what we also going to do is buffer this. For example, we're going to have 3 fetches. So we're going to say 3 buffering with 3, right? You could actually unbuffer this, but why not buffer it with 3? Why not? All right. So we have this response channel. Now we need to find a way to basically populate this response channel and listen to, and actually write to the channel and read from the channel. So what we're going to do is we're going to modify these things here, right? These comments here, because there is no way inside of this function to access that channel. So we're going to say, we're going to have here a response channel, which is going to be a chen of type response. It's going to be this, I guess. Response. Yeah, fine. Just like that. We don't need a string and error because we're going to inject that into, we're going to write the error and the string, the slice of comments, into the response. So we're going to delete this. We're not going to return. We're going to say here, these are the comments. We're going to sleep. These are the comments. Now we're going to say response channel. And we're going to say it's going to be a response. A response, right? And we're going to say that the data is going to be the comments. And the error is going to be null, right? If there was an error, you could actually populate the error there, right? But you're going to say no error in this case, right? That's what we're going to do. We need to do the same thing for get likes, right? We're going to say response channel. We're going to be a chan of a response. Delete this, do it like that. And then we're going to say here, response channel, going to be a response. What's going on here? The data is going to be this integer, get likes, for example, 11 likes for this boy. Error is going to be null in this case. And we're going to do the same thing for friends. We're going to say response channel, chan, response. And we're going to delete this one, this. And let's do, we're going to say something like, make it clean. We're going to say friends, friend IDs is this. And then we're going to say a response channel. And we're going to write a response into that channel. And we're going to say that the data is going to be the friend IDs. And the error is, of course, again, null, right? If there is an error, you could populate it in this channel and we can read that error later on. All right, so we refactored this. So right now what we need to do is, instead of these if-add shenanigans, we can do this. Go, right? We're going to schedule this in another Go routine. Go get comments. We're going to say for ID. Then we're going to populate the response channel in here, right? We're going to do the same thing for get likes. And the same thing for get friends, right? So we can delete all the shebang here, right? Of course, this is going to work out right now because we don't have that. There's no problem. Then what we're going to do is we are going to range over our response channel, right? So we're going to say, we learned that, right? We can range over responses. So we're going to say for response range response channel. Let's print out these responses, by the way, so we can see what's going on. A response here. We are going to return an empty user profile for now, right? Just like that. And fine. All right, so let's try to run this, because there's a problem in here, and I want to show you what the problem is, right? So go run main.go. Right, so you can see that we have 3 responses here, right? We have the friends, we have the like, and we have the comments, but we also have a deadlock, right? So why is this deadlock? If people that paid attention in the previous lessons of the concurrency, they know that basically this here, right? Here, this range is basically, it's keep ranging. Keep ranging. But when to stop, right? We are keep ranging here, so the program does not know how to exit because we keep ranging over a channel, but nobody is writing to this channel because we only write 3 times. But the program doesn't know that. So how are we going to do this? We're going to solve that with a sync wait group to coordinate between all these workers. Actually, these are workers. We're going to coordinate so we can know when they are done. It's very important. How are we going to do this? We're going to do that with a sync wait group. We're going to say VG. It's going to be a pointer to a sync wait group, right? And we're going to make things clean here. So I'm going to say this, this, and this. And then we're going to pass this wait group inside of the workers, right? Just like that. So now each worker has actually access to a wait group, right? We're going to say VG pointer sync wait group. Yes. So what we're going to do here is each time we are done, right? Work is done. We're going to say VG done, right? That's what we're going to do. We're going to coordinate that the work is done. So we're going to say vg pointer sync.waitGroup. Again, work is done here. Vg done. And again, for get friends, last but not least, vg pointer sync.waitGroup. And we're going to say here, work is done. Vg also done. Boom. Cool. So now the workers have communicated that they are done. Now we can actually say here, how many requests are we doing? 3 requests, right? We are doing 3 requests inside their own Go routine, right? Something like that. That basically means adding 3 to the wait group, right? So we're going to say vg add 3. Let's go on here. So that basically means the wait group is going to wait until all these 3 counters we incremented it are basically done, right? And each time a worker is going to call done here, that's going to decrement the wait group with 1, right? And if the wait group is 0, if the wait group here, we're going to wait here, right? If this, if the counter is 0, we unblock, right? You could say actually, block until the VG counter is 0, right? And when that happens, we going to close the channel, right? We're going to close the channel. It's going to be a response channel. We're going to close this. That basically means if we close it, this guy knows that he needs to break out of that loop, right? And once that is done, we're actually going to, once we actually done the work, they all have gathered his information. We're going to say user profile. You can actually make that. We're going to say, yeah, user profile is going to be an user profile, right? Just like that. And now we're going to range here. I'm going to delete this because we're going to return here the user profile and no error, right? Boom. Just like that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to range, right? First of all, we're going to do a switch. We're going to do a switch statement here. Switch based message on the response data. And we're going to say type, right? That basically means that we can know that we can switch on the type of the message being sent. That basically means, because we know, case it's an int, right? We know that it's going to be the likes, right? Of course, there are several ways to do this, right? Is this the best way? It's a way, right? Normally, you could have better types. You could have specific types for user likes, specific types for comments, specific types for user likes, and then switch on that. That's maybe a little bit better. But this will also work, right? So if it's a case in int, we're going to say user profile dot likes is going to be the message, right? Because if you switch on the type here, this message will automatically be casted to this case statement, right? So it's going to be automatically an int, right? Case a slice of int. That's going to be the friends, right? Friends. So you can see what's happening, right? We basically switch on these responses here, right? You see, for example, this is going to be an integer here. And this is going to be a list of a slice of integers. And then, of course, this is going to be a slice of strings, right? And that's exactly where we switching on. And you can see that you can replace that with its own data type, right? A common data type or something. So we're going to say user profile dot comments is going to be this MSG, right? And we could also say, basically here, if we range the response, we could check the error. We could say, for example, if response.error is not null. First check the error. We're going to say, for example, return nil R. I don't think we can for some reason. What's going on? Undefined R. Oh yeah, it's response error. Huh? How did we do that? This is... Oh yeah. Response of course. Yeah, yes. My bad. Okay, cool. We got this. That's what we're gonna do. Delete this space here. So I think we're pretty good, right? Very important is, yes, it's fine. Let's run this, right? We're gonna say go run main.go. Right, you can see we have aggregated a complete user profile. But the most important thing is this, guys. Look at this, 200 milliseconds. And we're coming from 500 milliseconds. Now, we basically are as slow as the weakest link of the chain, right? Now we're only going to wait for the maximum time one of these requests is going to take. Instead of 500, it's 200. So we basically did 300 ms profit. We optimized our program with 300 ms. Of course, it's a little bit of exaggerated, but you know what I mean, right? Can you imagine you need to fetch a lot of stuff? You can save a lot of time by doing this concurrency. And if you see the code, it's fine, right? Of course, we did a lot of stuff here, but it's like, it's not too bad, right? You know what I mean? You can actually split this out, for example, in populate or user profile function or something like that, right? Like I said, we could do some optimizations here. So we don't need to do this like that. You could make your own. You could actually also have like 3 separate channels where you wait on, but I think this is kind of okay, right? All right. I hope this makes a lot of sense. I'm going to push this code also on the fulltimegodev organization on GitHub so you guys can check that out. All right. And I see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.